Hi, this is Roger. Thanks for dropping by early on a Sunday morning. Sunday morning chat's going to be very short today because I've got stuff to do. I'm out at the garden party all afternoon, and before I go, I've got to finish watering my mounts and get the food ready and stuff. So short chat today. Some good news, the two bandas have opened. Large blue one up there. We'll have a closer look at that when a few more blooms open. I can get the clothes pegs off. And the little orange one's opened. When this one opens, it's a sort of browny orange, but then it fades to a bright orange, so it looks better later, if you see what I mean. But yeah, we've got both vandas in bloom now. That's good. This Phalaenopsis Sweet Memory is still looking good. These blooms have been out ages. Well, that's a lovely tight clustered spike. Looks really good. Slightly fragrant, but not as strong as people say, or not here it isn't anyway. The Miltonia is opening up slowly. 3 spikes on that. There's 3 separate plants in the pot, so that's reasonable. Latest growth's blooming. That's good. I think this little Cattleya is starting to go now, which is a shame. But it's it's lasted quite well. I've got a flower spike on my I've forgotten what it is now. Something nocturnum, epidendrum nocturnum, probably. But yeah, the spikes on this do extend. If you look at that, there's some green showing on that dead-looking spike, so that may shoot out again. That one not at the moment anyway. But again, the largest cane, the latest one, nice and good spike showing there. Maybe the blooms will hang in there when it blooms this time, instead of self-pollinating within a day, and then they just collapse. That's a nuisance. This is still looking good up here. Yeah, very pleased with that. We've got quite a few spikes coming on, in various places, so they'll come in when it's their turn. My little Tolumnia species, Europhila, is still in bloom. I think this has been in bloom well over 2 months now. The other spike's tucked up in there. The end of the spike's gone, but the 2 branches have opened up, so yeah, 2 nice spikes on that. That's my only Tolumnia in bloom at the moment. Yeah, there's various other things around. We just had an accident with this. My elbow caught it and knocked the whole thing on the floor and chucked it out of its pot. So I've hastily put it back in on a temporary basis. I'll look at it in more detail when I've got more time. These things happen, with a crowded space and elbows and early in the day. That combination's not ideal for messing them out with your orchids. Bit of bad news, the shade netting is not doing its job. Hannah's down for the weekend for the garden party, and she came out here. We had sun yesterday, so that's the first real test we've had. And we came out here while the bright sun had been out for some time, and I still had 28 degrees in here. And Hannah just looked round and said, straight out with it, well, the sun's up above the grow space. The sun's coming in the roof, and you haven't got the shade netting on the roof, have you? And although that's probably stating the bleeding obvious, I was hoping to get away with not doing the roof. But I'm obviously not going to get away with not doing the roof. At this time of year, the sun is high in the sky, and literally from sort of 12 o'clock till 4 o'clock, maybe 4:30 in the afternoon, it's directly above the grow room. So most of the energy from the sun is coming at the roof. So I've ordered another piece. We'll try it on the roof as well. And that's going to be a bit fiddly because of the way it's sort of attached up there, but it's still worth the try, I think. So many people have said this stuff works, but it's got to be given a chance, basically. Now, later in the year, when the sun tends to be lower in the sky but still strong, most of the sun will be coming in the sides. So that's when the stuff I've already got should do its thing. But yeah, so I've got another piece coming for the roof, and that'll replace what's up there. And I plan to cover up more of the roof this time, because it does seem a bit silly having the shade netting stopping early when it's the sun that's the problem. So the shade netting is going to cover a lot more of the roof this time round. Now that could be a problem with my highlight orchids, but I'm afraid I'm going to have to go for the majority rule. and the majority in here do not want that heat. Even the high light orchids don't want that heat. So worst case scenario is half a dozen of my plants that need the highest light might not bloom as well, or they might not bloom at all. Well, I'm prepared to sacrifice those for the sake of the rest. The vast majority in here would prefer to stay down around 25, and this shadier lot, the cooler growers, they could do with it a lot lower than that. But everything's a compromise when you grow lots of different sorts of orchids. So anyway, we'll try it with it on the roof, and I'm going to try and get some good separation between the shade netting and the roof itself so that there's a good air gap there. I can sort of support it on some slats of wood or something, but I'll get that sorted as and when it arrives. So that's it for this Sunday morning, I'm afraid. I've just got too much to do today, and I'm taking Hannah back this evening, so everything's sort of back to normal tomorrow. And we've got predicted 34, 35 degrees for a couple of days this coming week. It doesn't sound like it's going to last for a long time, but you know, relatively speaking, the UK is getting off lightly. If you have a look at the temperatures in the rest of Europe as you head south, it's getting silly again, well up into the 40s. This is the second one this year, and we had the one last year. Seems to be getting a lot more frequent, you know, and if it's going to stay frequent and it's going to happen year on year, we're all going to have to cater for it eventually, especially out in the gardens, you know. So anyway, I'll see you next time, just a short one this time, and bye for now.